Minnesota Fighting Vikings quarterback Kirk Jerome Ezekiel Cousins, the Tin Pot Pizza Ranch dictator, a.k.a. the Plan B of the veteran quarterback trade market after Matthew Stafford. His future is very likely here in purple with the Vikings. Signed an extension last offseason. The Vikings offense was legit last year. Kirk, after a horrible, the worst start to the season, after the bye, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Better than Justin Herbert. And the Vikings rallied and nearly made the playoffs. If not for the worst defense in the Zimmer regime, and frankly, one of the worst defenses in NFL history, plus special teams, terrible, the offense was certainly not the problem. But even as we hear more rumblings and trade rumors around Kirk Cousins, because it does make sense, lots of teams were in on Matthew Stafford, teams that just feel like, if we get a veteran quarterback, we can win now. We can do this. And the Niners and the Colts and the Broncos and the Panthers, oh my, all that stuff. I still think that it is extremely likely, I don't know, like 87% chance that Kirk Cousins is going to be under center for the Vikings in 2021. Mike Zimmer popped on the flagship morning show, Good Morning Football, today, and even said that Kirk's our guy. He had a terrific year this year. I got to work on my Zimmer impression, but we have to get better on defense, and that's my job to get it fixed. So it is refreshing that Zimmer's actually taking ownership for his defense and his team's failings, by the way. I mean, it's kind of nice to see. I've never had a bad defense. Yeah, okay. You did last year, buddy. But two things here. So, of course, the vote of confidence saying that Kirk is our guy, he's not going anywhere. But the Vikings, in recent history, and with Spielman as GM, even though obviously this is not Spielman talking here, but Spielman, we have no intention of trading Percy Harvin at this time. And there's no reason to anticipate that Stephon Diggs is not going to be a Minnesota Viking. Okay, so you could say that 100% Kirk Cousins is going to be traded. And it was like, I don't know if I believe you. And also, you could be like, Kirk is never getting traded ever. Like, an atomic bomb could go off, or the threat of an atomic bomb, unless we traded Kirk Cousins, could go off. We ain't trading him. No, they could say that and be like, why you lying? Right. Number two, this is ultimately not Mike Zimmer's decision. So you have a defensive-minded head coach who's on the hot seat, and he's like, yeah, he's our guy. It's like, okay. It's not up to you, bro. It's up to the GM. It's up to ownership ultimately. And sure, he'll have some input, but also his input was ignored when he signed Kirk Cousins in 2018. Zimmer was not on board. If the Vikings can get the farm for Kirk Cousins, they do have a responsibility to the franchise to at least explore it. Basically, it comes down to this. Only trade Kirk Cousins if you can get picks and parlay said picks into a Deshaun Watson trade, or flip that draft pick windfall to get to the top of the draft and get a big three quarterback, ideally Zach Wilson, maybe Trevor Lawrence. But absent that, no, Kirk is not going anywhere, which is fine. The offense was legit last year. His chemistry with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen is solid. Get this man an offensive line, and the Vikings could potentially go to the promised land, right? But this is an example that we've used a bunch. So Pawn Stars Rick Harrison has a Super Bowl ring from the Patriots 2001 team. Some scrub of no note, whatever. The ring might retail for $30,000, but he has it listed as $100,000. Where it's obvious that he wants to keep it, but if someone comes in and offers them $100,000, they're going to walk out with a Super Bowl ring. It's like if someone on the black market, like a less reputable person, comes up to you and be like, hey, we want to buy one of your kidneys. And you can be like, no, I kind of like having both of my kidneys. But if someone offers you $50 million because some Russian oligarch really needs a kidney and you're the only match, you'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to live with one kidney. Right. And the Vikings obviously do want to keep Kirk Cousins. But if the Panthers make the same offer that they did reportedly for Matthew Stafford of the number 8 overall pick and change, or the Broncos number 9 overall pick and change, or the Niners offer number 12 overall and a lot of change, reuniting him with Kyle Shanahan, the Vikings would have to at least consider it. And then parlay those picks, go after Deshaun or a top draft quarterback. Ideally, they would have a plan in place, or at least an outline of a deal in place before they pulled the trigger on Kirk Cousins. But, I mean, too many people are like, well, why would you trade Kirk Cousins to the Niners and take on Jimmy Garoppolo? The Vikings don't have to take Jimmy G unless they're going to flip him to the Patriots for picks. This is not akin to the Jared Goff deal where Goff had to be traded. A team had to take on his contracted salary because it was guaranteed. The Niners can just cut Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't need to include him in trade. Jimmy G is not coming here. Now. All right, so just get rid of him. Or, why would they cut Kirk in the role with Nate Stanley? They're not dum-dums. No. They would have to have a better option in place. And Deshaun, yes, would be a better option. Long term, big three quarterback, you are gambling for sure, but you have a chance to press reset on the franchise at the quarterback position. You have to consider it, right? So they're not going to roll with Nate Stanley or Jake Browning or re-sign Sean Mannion. He's going to be the guy, or bring back Taylor Heineke, or trade Teddy from the Panthers, even though, no, it's not going to happen. So picks, only premium picks for Kirk Cousins, because this team is ready to win now. And if the Vikings don't get that deal, fine, pass. Cool. That's the Vikings leveraging this spot. They can walk around the table because they don't need to get a deal done. The Vikings defense will bounce back. Special teams will be less than garbage. And then the Vikings potentially could be a trendy Super Bowl pick with Kirk Cousins operating this offense. Woo! That's right. But like we said, if an opportunity comes up for the Vikings where they can add their quarterback of the future, or land a prime of his career franchise level quarterback like Deshaun, not even in his prime, just starting to scratch the surface of his prime, I mean, Spielman has to at least pick up the phone. He has to. But like we said, it's unlikely that Kirk Cousins is going to be traded, but it's not a 0% chance. Yeah. But your thoughts? Zimmer going to bat for Kirk Cousins? Okay. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.